Hello and welcome back to another video. I am Angst Attack, but you can call me Katie. We're starting up a new series. This is the Stanley Parable. It was developed and published by Galactic Games. It's an interactive first-person story-driven game. You make a variety of decisions, and you direct where the story ends up, leading you to one of the many endings that have been put in the game. There's a narrator who will try to guide you and basically talk about Stanley, who you play. And he'll try to get you to do specific things to guide where your story is going, but you don't have to listen, and he makes a fuss every time you don't, which is probably my favorite part of this entire game. But in this series, I will be showing you each of the endings that are available. I have no idea how many there are because I still haven't counted. Hopefully in one of the next videos I have already counted. But let's get started! Alright, we are loading. I'll sit
This
through
is the
this.
story of a man named Stanley.
That's me!
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alright, so this is where the player now takes control. I will not sit through that anymore.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Now, as I was saying, I won't sit through that startup for any of the other videos, so if it's missing in the other ones, that's why. Looks like everybody ran out in a rush. What's this say? Username access. I turned it off.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So the goal in this one, we're gonna do, I believe it's called the freedom ending, where we listen to pretty much everything the narrator tells us to do. That's bright.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
You guys can pause and read all of this if you want to. Why is this blurred? That's odd. Everyone is unique. So I can't really identify what exactly this company does. Broom closet.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ooh, I spun around. Fancy office. This door should close. If it does. Executive bathroom. Interesting.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I was wondering if that was going to close behind me. Oh yeah, because this isn't creepy. Oh, this happens every now and then. The game freaks out when it's loading. Nothing to worry about.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar.
I do feel
It was a
peculiar.
stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Where are we going?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
We'll have to check that out a different time. Naturally. Oh god, we're on a catwalk.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Oh wow.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Oh. Do I go over here?
Now the monitors jumped to life,
Whoa.
their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
It's a little creepy that they're spying on people.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone
That one's
else's
all blurry.
control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
5? There's some like coding up in the corner. Well, we're gonna push off. happened? Dun, dun, dun.
Blackness
Yeah.
and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
So that is ironically called the freedom ending. Now, if you're not understanding the irony of it, you have to give up all of your freedom and listen to somebody and be directed and not have control over your path in order to achieve it. Hopefully that made sense. I tried my bestest. But we'll be checking out the other endings, so keep your eyes out. I will randomly post these. Right now I don't have them set up on any kind of specific date to upload, but if you like them, let me know. Like, comment, and share as you please, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye!